Welcome back. In this demonstration we're going to be creating a monochromatic moonlight tree silhouette. Our picture will look something like this when we're finished. It's two pieces. It's a background with a monochromatic painting and a collage cut out tree in the foreground. Okay, first let's talk about monochromatic painting. Monochromatic means using one color but adding either white or black to create different tints or shades of that original color. So here's a color wheel. You can see it's the red, yellow, blue color wheel, just like we've always seen in art class, and it's been created in a monochromatic version that it's got the lightest tint on the inside and the darker shade on the outside and the pure hue color in the middle. Pure hue means the amount of color, or the kind of color that's in paint. So a pure hue would be like we call red, that would be the pure hue. And then a tint of it would be adding a little bit of white. Tint 2, adding some more white. Tint 3, adding even more white. And tint 4, adding more. And tint 5, and you can kind of keep going as long as you can be accurate and careful in making your tints. Then if you take the pure hue and you add black to it, you can make darker shades of the color, adding a little teeny black, a little more black, a little more black. Okay? So, in our demonstration, you're going to be having your picture looking like this. And then you're going to need to finish the painting first. It looks like this, starting with the center dot and moving out. So first you'll need your paint set up. You'll need a water cup. You'll need white, black, and a pure hue. Then on your paper, write your name, your section number, and your homeroom teacher. Then you should have about 9 circles. I'm going to start by drawing a small circle in the center here, and then a little bit bigger circle around that. Please press lightly on your paper as you draw these so that you don't see the pencil through your thick tempera paint or acrylic paint that you're using. When you're done drawing, it should look something like that, and I'll pause the video in class to make sure everyone's caught up. Good. Now that you're done with that, you're going to start with the lightest color, or white, in the center and make tints going out from the center. So here's my white. Notice I grab a bunch on my brush and it's nice and thick. We're going to be using an easel brush, and I want you to have good brush control. Notice I take a little bit of white and then or a big blob of white, and then I add just a teeny bit of blue in. If you're choosing to do blue, blue's a very difficult color to make tints and shades with because it's so powerful. So you have to be really careful on the front end of using too much blue and changing your color too pure right at the beginning. Then you can see here I have a crisp line around the edge and I have a blended line right in here. That means I take the two colors of paint and work them together on top of each other. Then I add a little bit more blue into my already tinted paint here. And each time I add a little bit more blue into my tinted paint. Okay, you can see the black over here on the side that I have. And we'll start using that in a bit to make our shades. But notice how I take a little pure color and I actually work it into the paint on the page there. And that's going to make your tints and your shades look accurate. You can just change them ever so slightly once you get them on the page. Sometimes they look different than when they look on your palette. Okay. Notice how I'm using good brush control. I'm pulling my brush. Notice that here in my palette where I'm mixing the colors, the color is mixed thoroughly. It's not white and blobby. It's not full of other kind of paint. It's really mixed thoroughly, so I have a nice smooth color once I put it onto my paper. Notice I'm testing it right here, make sure it's dark enough. It's too close to this color, so I add a little more blue in, and there we go. It's getting darker and darker as I run through. And jumping forward a little bit, here's my next row, adding more blue. If you have to go off the page, try to be careful to make sure that we can wipe it up at the end, or that you've got a piece of scratch paper underneath you so that you don't make the tables messy. And if you do make the tables messy, please make sure that you clean them out. Notice my water. Have I washed my brush yet? No. We want to keep your brush full of the paint with the white and the blue, or the white and the pure color, until you change to your shade. Once I get done with my pure hue color, this blue right here, then I will wash my brush completely and start with my shade. If you have white and black on your brush at the same time, it'll get dark. Okay? So it'll get dark and it'll get kind of grayish, and it won't look quite as nice as if you keep your brush clean between tints and shades. Okay. So as I finish up, I'm washing my brush out here, and I'm finishing my painting and making sure that I have my brush clean, I have my painting finished, it's nice and neat, and you don't have any paint left on your palette. If you have some paint left on your palette, make sure that you throw it away neatly and clearly and cleanly. By the end, you should have your painting done like this with your name on the back and everything completed.